of our Diamond P camera crews has just measured this line of cars and trucks, and it stretches over 7 miles down the highway. The head of the line terminates at this rapidly filling parking lot. The occupants of all these vehicles in this massive traffic jam are crowding into State Capitol Dragway in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to see the 5th annual running of the NHRA Cajun Nationals Drag Racing Championships.
Lane, the defending champion, the man that wears the big number 1 on his wing, Gary Ormsby in the near lane. He has not won yet this season. Ormsby with one of the best reaction times of the day in any class. It is Ormsby. A sigh of relief from his crew chief, a 5:15 to a 5:14, much like the funny car final round.
Same racetrack. Last year he was runner-up to Bob Glidden. He's trying this year for the upset of the meet. But it looks like Bob Glidden is stretching his lead. And at the finish line, Bob Glidden takes the win. His 9th consecutive. The engine's high RPM and a great start by Lee Shepard. He is pulling away from Frank Iaconio, and Lee Shepard, making it 3 in a row, wins the Pro Stock Championship. Who will win the title? Off the starting line, they leave together, and it is Lee Shepard beginning to pull away. And he does, by a car length, win the Cajun Nationals title. Chip points chase. A good start. The wheels in the air for Iaconio, but look at Shepard move. He heads down the racetrack and to another victory, adding to his long string. Shepard wins the Pro Stock title at a 7.76 seconds.
Very similar in both design and in their power plant. It now depends a lot on the driver. The staging procedures are completed, and if the red light starts from Butch Leal, the win automatically goes to Lee Shepard, and he wins another Cajun Nationals Championship. Shepard driving the Camaro at 7.75 seconds at over 180. Congratulations to the top fuel champ. Now we're set for the funny car final. Bernstein in the near lane. In the far lane, the Oldsmobile-bodied car of Bruce Larson. Both drivers set. And it's the advantage to Larson. And an upset. Bruce Larson defeats the reigning Winston champion.
Stock Eliminator champ Danny Doty. In Super Stock Eliminator, David Rampey from Alabama driving a GTO, paired off against Don Brown's 70 Barracuda, and the winner, David Rampey in Super Stock Eliminator.
In Super Stock Eliminator, Larry Morgan at the wheel of his Pontiac Trans Am in the near lane, matched off against Jackie Ray Pascal from Pasadena, Texas. Morgan out of Columbus, Ohio, squeezes out the win at the finish to take home the Super Stock Eliminator.
Has taken place right here in Baton Rouge. In qualifying, Don Prudhomme, the former 4-time world champion, brings his new Pontiac Trans Am to the starting line against Trip Shoemake. Shoemake with problems off the starting line. He brings the car under control, but Don Prudhomme has no problems. The fastest run by a funny car in history.
Yeah, I had that ever-loving feeling today about it. The car run 43 yesterday, and we're the first ones to run 240. It's nice to be the first one to run 250, regardless what Beetle does.
And you just took the number 1 spot from Beetle with still 1 session to go.
Decent, yeah, I'm real happy about that. But Raymond's no slouch. We're going to have a tough race.
Okay, congratulations again. That could be a national record if you back it up.
I think that's dynamite. Thank you.
This is round number 2 racing, and our defending champion, Al Segrini, getting set for this round of competition. He is racing a virtual unknown in the sport of funny cars, Jim Head. From the ranks of Competition Eliminator through alcohol dragsters, top fuel dragsters, and now the nitro-burning funny cars, Jim Head of Columbus, Ohio, is making his progression to a professional drag racer. His competition, Al Segrini, has been a professional racer for a number of years. The funny cars, fiberglass replicas of late-model American-made automobiles, utilizing those 2,500 horsepower nitro engines that we saw just a few moments ago in the top fuel dragsters. Both cars are ready. The lights turn green, and it is Jim Head off first. Head extending his lead in the middle of the course. Segrini shuts it off, and it is Jim Head advancing another round into the semifinal. A big upset. The defending champion Al Segrini going down to defeat Jim Head.
Well, Jim Head said earlier he'd settle for one of those 590s. That is exactly what you got. A 99, I believe.
My first five.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And also your first semifinal in a funny car.
Yes, it is.
Did you think it would come this soon, only your second big NHRA race?
I really hoped it would. I mean, you need brakes and you need to go down the track, and we're trying to do both. But, you know,
Quite the experience level that is there with that Candies and Hughes entry, but he is in the semifinals. It doesn't matter to him how he got there, and it is Mark Oswald up in smoke. Jim Head extending his lead into the finish line, and what an upset. The #1 qualifier down to defeat Jim Head. A very safe 6.08 seconds at 245 miles an hour as we watch again and see exactly how Mark Oswald lost. A little bit of a wheel stand and then instant tire smoke. The car losing traction, and all Mark Oswald could do is keep it straight, keep it from hitting the guardrail, and watch Jim Head win the race and move into his first ever NHRA Funny Car Final.
Has won the last two NHRA national events and holds both ends of the national speed records. May be this: under 4 pounds, a little black box. Now, you've probably already guessed it is a computer. Now, we've talked about computers before on his car, but they were big, they were bulky, they wouldn't take the pain and strain of drag racing. This one is bulletproof. This is the actual computer that goes into the car before every run. It is then unbolted out of the car, goes into the trailer where this very simple, inexpensive computer is plugged in. But the data that comes out of the box is anything but simple. There's more than I could even recount to you. It takes 40 readings a second. It tells you the engine RPM every point down the racetrack. It tells them when Kenny shifts from first into high gear. It gives them a complete fuel flow graph. It tells you the shaft speed and the engine speed, so you know the clutch slippage. Just incredible information that soon everybody may be privy to, because they plan to market this unit in all forms of motor racing for under $3,000. Quite a bargain. Dale Armstrong and Kenny Bernstein have really broken some ground here.
What a deal. If they could only get those things to get more than about 0.5 miles of the gallon, they'd really be onto something.
Anything that'll save them time on the racetrack or in the pits. Now, this is a clutch disc. There's 4 of these in the slider clutches in the top fuel directions and funny cars. When the car is serviced in the pits, these discs are red hot. They are warped. They have got to be made flat again. Now, Fred Miller here from the Blue Mask Crew, this is how Fred has had to do it for years. Grind both sides of all 4 discs, a very time-consuming and inaccurate procedure. Now, Tony McGleasy here has developed the portable disc grinder. He and his son Lonnie build slider clutches. Look at this gadget. Boy, the racers are going to love this. The disc goes on. There's an abrasive sanding disc in the box. Push the button, it spins it up to 400 RPMs and will grind it to any tolerance you like. You shut the door so all the dust and little pieces go out the bottom instead of in the atmosphere. I tell you, this could save up to 10 or 15 minutes getting a car ready for the next round. It only sells for $500. Boy, I'll tell you, this gadget's going to be real popular.
American West.
It certainly did, Charlie, but just upriver from where we are right now is a thoroughfare of a different kind, where the flow is a lot faster than the old Mississippi here. 160 miles an hour. It's State Capitol Dragway, the site of the 6th Annual Cajun Nationals drag races.
And today we will be watching racing in a form that you saw many years ago on the Mississippi River. The Delta Queen is the oldest paddle boat on the Mississippi, and remember, it used to go against the Natchez in head-to-head competition.
And it's head-to-head competition all the way at the Cajun Nationals, Charlie. And the star of this race are the pro stockers. They're 160 miles an hour in just 8 seconds, over a quarter of a mile, and the only thing stock about these beautiful vehicles is their exterior appearance.
Hey, Steve, I thought the appearance under the lights last night in the qualifying gave drag racing an almost mystical look.
It certainly does. The 8 quickest pro stockers make the program today. They qualified last evening between 155 and 162.
Welcome to Nottoway. This is the oldest plantation in the South. It is located on the banks of the Mississippi River, just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Nottoway was completed in the year 1859, just prior to the Civil War. It has a total of 64 rooms and 53,000 square feet under the original slate roof. During the Civil War, Nottoway was spared through the kindness of a northern gunboat officer who ironically had been a guest here at the mansion. Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Jones along with Steve Evans.
In those glory years, Charlie, prior to the Civil War, one of the favorite pastimes of the gentlemen planters here in this region was racing their horses one-on-one over a quarter-mile distance.
And that is the key to our event today, the quarter-mile distance. But it's not horses, it is horsepower.
And lots of it. over 2,000 horsepower per vehicle, as we look at the top fuel eliminator category here at the 6th annual Cajun National Drag Races.
3. Ron Tobler and her son, John Muldowney, doing exactly the same thing, making sure that this 250-mile-an-hour Charger is ready to go. The two leading females in motorsports matched here in the semifinals at the Cajun Nationals. The last-minute nod of the head and a tip to Shirley as she begins the preparation for this run by creeping into those staging beams. Will the years of experience for Shirley Muldowney pay off? We'll find out. And a great hole shot for Shirley Muldowney. Up in smoke goes Lucille Lee. And that's the race. Shirley Muldowney wins the semifinal round against Lucille Lee. Her elapsed time, 5.98 seconds. Her speed, only 226 miles an hour. Here you see it. And there's the advantage right off the starting line. Shirley Muldowney pulling the hole shot on Lucille Lee, who also lost traction. Steve?
Well, I think you both underplayed it a little bit. It was quite a confrontation. It's gone now. You were the victor. You did it on a hole shot. That experience again.
Well, it just, you know, we all get lucky once in a while. Lucille's got a few years yet, but she's done wonderful. She's the best I've seen to ever come along.
That's right.
Bar none. I mean, the rest of the girls that have been here and gone, I mean, she makes them look silly.
Shepard in just a moment, but right now, the sound of funny cars. John Force driving the Corvette-bodied car, Force hailing from Placentia, California, up against Austin, Texas, Kenny Bernstein. The 34-year-old Bernstein returning to drag racing last season after a 5-year layoff, at which time he formed his own business chain of restaurants throughout the United States and decided to come back into drag racing first class, and he did it with this beautiful Plymouth Arrow-bodied car. John Force, a longtime racer on the West Coast, he also picking up a major sponsorship and deciding to head on the national tour throughout all of 1979, and he's earned his way right here into the finals at the Cajun Nationals. Two of the best funny cars in the country meeting at State Capitol Dragway in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The burnouts completed, both drivers approaching the starting line, concentrating on the Christmas tree, trying to eke out that little bit of advantage at the starting line that may put them ahead at the finish line. Let's watch. And it's John Force out first, but something goes wrong, and Kenny Bernstein wins his first ever NHRA national title. 6.45 seconds. At 233 miles an hour. Let's watch in the instant replay. You see the flames standing off from the headers, indicating they're at full throttle as they leave the line. Right there, some mechanical problems set in for John Force. He is forced to shut it off, and Kenny Bernstein wins the race. Steve's at the finish line with the champ.
Dave, absolutely one of the most beautiful cars in all of drag racing in any category finds the winner's circle here at the Cajun Nationals. Its owner, its driver, a businessman racer, Kenny Bernstein, making his first visit to glory NHRA style. Many, many years ago, he raced as far as runner-up, retired from racing to become a very, very successful restaurant and bar owner throughout the Southwest. Congratulations, Kenny Bernstein.
Just great. Just super.
Were you a little sick there for a moment when Force was out in front of you?
Well, yeah, you know, the car left pretty good, and then it seemed to get the tires loose again, and I was wondering for a second we were going to get back around him, but then she took off, and I don't know what happened to him, but we're here, and that's what counts.
Well, congratulations to you. You've brought a lot of class to this sport. Not only your race car, but your transporter. Everything you do seems to have that, just that touch of class and polish.
Well, that's a super compliment, Steve, from you and anybody else, and I really appreciate that. We like to do it that way. We think that the sport deserves it, and we think, just like I did 5 years ago when I quit, if I couldn't go back into it first class and really do it the right way, I just wouldn't do it, and I appreciate the compliment because it makes me...
To another racetrack in another day. This is John Force, the Corvette-bodied funny car, to match up against Raymond Beadle and the crew gathering around Beadle's car. Off in the darkness, it's difficult to tell exactly what is happening, but Beadle's crew working frantically is yet to fire, Force having completed his initial burnout. Force, only 29 years old, just started into the national tour this season, and thus far has got some fine elapsed time with that Corvette-bodied funny car. But of course, the Blue Max, one of the best known names in all of drag racing. Force not taking advantage of the one shot that he might have to take an easy single. He could have pulled up and staged, and then it would have been the pressure on Beetle to fire it and get it to the line immediately. Force doing another burnout, obviously going to be trying for the best time that he can. You saw there the starter giving the signal. It'll be a single, and that's what's being signaled from the Beetle crew. That's it. The Blue Max out of competition. Some mechanical problems. We'll attempt to find out why, as John Force on a single run. He must make the same number of runs as his competitor, which is Kenny Bernstein, having already won his semifinal match. It'll be Bernstein against Force in the finals at the Cajun Nationals. Right now, let's see if he can notch a low elapsed time, lower than the 6.49 second time by Bernstein, to give him lane choice. John Force on his way to a good run. He does not. 6.52 seconds at 227 miles an hour, and that could be an important factor in the competition in the finals as to who gets the choice of lane.
Well, Dave, certainly it's going to be two of the most beautiful funny cars in all the world in the final round here at the Cajun Nationals. Kenny Bernstein's Chelsea King out of Texas and from California. In his rookie year on the Pro Tour, he's been drag racing on the West Coast for a number of years, but the first time with a really quality operation is John Force. And I'll tell you what, when he gets the helmet off, it'll probably be full of adrenaline. These guys have worked hard. John Force, did you think it was possible? The final round of national events.
Can I say, the Lord's with me here. I'm digging that. She, I guess, breaks didn't fall with Raymond there, and they fell with me, and I'm going to put Wendy's right in the winner's circle on this next run, because she ran good, and she shook just a shade, but she was making it. She's ready to run.
Okay, you didn't get lane choice, so Bernstein ran a little quicker. Is that a factor, do you think?
It could be a factor, but I think when the Lord's rolling with you, it's rolling. I'm going in that final round.
On a hot roll, John Force.
That's the finals for the Cajun Nationals. It'll be John Force in his Corvette-bodied car against Kenny Bernstein driving the Plymouth Aero-bodied creation.
Hey, John.